All right, today we are diving into a book that has, and I mean this literally, changed millions of lives. It's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. We're going to break down the secret to true success into 7 really powerful, life-altering habits.
So let me ask you, have you ever really wondered what the secret to success actually is? It's a massive question, right? Well, today we're going to unpack an answer that stood the test of time and could genuinely change the way you approach, well, pretty much everything. You know, the whole journey Covey lays out, it starts from the inside out. He calls this first part the private victory. See, before you can lead a team or even just work well with others, you have to get your own house in order first. This is all about making that huge shift from being dependent on things happening to you to being in complete control of your own life. And this private victory, it's built on these 3 foundational habits you see right here. It all starts with taking full responsibility, then figuring out where you're even going, and finally actually doing the things that matter. These are the building blocks. Everything else rests on them.
So, where do we kick things off? With the absolute cornerstone of it all, habit number 1. And this isn't just some clever tip. Covey says this is the fundamental idea that unlocks your entire potential. Habit 1 is to be proactive, and honestly, this is a total game changer. It means you stop blaming everything else, your boss, the bad traffic, the weather. You realize that you are the one in the driver's seat of your life. So instead of thinking there's nothing I can do, you start asking, okay, what can I do? You're responsible for your choices, period.
And you can see the mindset shift right here. It's so simple, but so profound. People who are reactive feel trapped. They default to saying, I can't. But proactive people, they change their language. And by doing that, they change their reality. They say, I will find a way. It's all about putting your energy into the things you can actually control.
Okay, so once you've truly accepted that you're in the driver's seat, the next question is kind of obvious. Where are you going? Being proactive without a destination is just spinning your wheels. And that brings us right to the second habit, which is all about direction.
And that's habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. I mean, think about it. You'd never start a long road trip without knowing where you're headed, right? Well, the same thing applies to your life. This habit is about figuring out your personal vision and what you value first. That vision becomes your internal compass, guiding every single decision you make. So, you've taken control and you know your destination. But how do you deal with all the chaos of daily life to actually move in that direction? Well, that's where the third and final habit of this private victory comes in. This is the habit of execution.
Habit 3, put first things first. This is where the rubber really meets the road. So many of us live our lives just putting out fires, right? Responding to whatever feels urgent. This habit teaches you to switch your focus from what's urgent to what's truly important. It's not about time management, it's about self-management. It's about making sure your daily actions actually line up with that big vision you set for yourself. Okay, so once you've built that solid foundation of self-mastery, that's your private victory, you're ready for the next level, the public victory. This is where you go from being independent to being interdependent. And that just means you can build amazing, effective, and collaborative relationships with other people. The 3 habits for this public stage are all about how we interact. It's about thinking win-win, seeking first to understand, and then creating synergy. Let's break those down. The starting point for any successful collaboration is a huge shift in how you think. It's the 4th habit, and it really challenges something a lot of us were taught, that for me to win, someone else has to lose. And that's habit 4, think win-win. See, we're often taught that life is a competition, that there's only so much pie to go around. This habit asks you to believe in abundance instead. It's the core belief that there's plenty for everyone, and that the best, most lasting solutions are the ones where everybody walks away feeling like they won. Now, you can't create a win-win if you don't even know what the other person considers a win. And that's why this 5th habit is maybe one of the most important communication skills you could ever learn. It's the key to real connection. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. This is so powerful. Most of us, when we listen, we're not really listening to understand. We're just waiting for our turn to talk. This habit flips that completely. It asks you to listen with real empathy, to truly hear the other person. Because here's the secret. People will only listen to you after they feel like you've truly listened to them. So once you're aiming for win-win outcomes and you've learned to truly listen to people, you unlock something almost magical. The sixth habit is where 1 plus 1 can equal 3, or 10, or even 100. It's the habit of creative cooperation. Habit 6 is to synergize. And really, this is just the peak of teamwork. Synergy is the idea that the whole is way greater than the sum of its parts. It's what happens when you genuinely value the differences in other people, their unique perspectives, their experiences. Instead of seeing those differences as a problem, you see them as an opportunity to create something new and better than any one person could have dreamed up on their own. So we've got our private victory and our public victory. But how do we keep it all going? How do you not burn out? Well, that brings us to the final, all-encompassing habit that makes everything else sustainable for the long haul. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most crucial habit of all. Number 7. This isn't just another step. This is the habit that keeps all the other 6 running. It's the habit of continuous renewal. Habit 7 is sharpen the saw. Imagine a woodcutter, right? They're trying to chop down a huge tree with a dull saw. They're working like crazy, sweating, but getting nowhere. You tell them, hey, why don't you stop for a few minutes and sharpen your saw? And they reply, I can't, I'm too busy sawing. That's what so many of us do. This habit is about taking the time to sharpen yourself because you are your most important tool. And Covey says that to sharpen the saw, right, you need to invest in 4 key areas of your life: your physical health, your body, your ongoing learning and mental growth, the mind, your relationships and emotional connections, the heart, and your core values and purpose, your spirit. So that's the big promise here. This isn't just a list of 7 nice ideas. Each habit builds on the one before it, creating this powerful upward spiral of growth. The message couldn't be clearer. If you actually apply these habits, your life will absolutely change for the better. From taking total responsibility to creating amazing things with others, this is a complete roadmap. So the final and most important question? That's for you. After hearing all this, which one of these habits are you going to start with today?